Yeah. A dog walked up to a lemonade stand and he said to the man, right in the sand, hey, bum bum bum, any grapes? The man said, no, we just sell lemonade, but it's cold and it's fresh and it's all homemade. Can I get your glass? I'll pass. Then he waddled away, waddle waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle waddle till the very next day. Bum 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 bum. And the dog walked up to the lemonade stand and he said to the man, run the stand. Hey, bum bum bum, got any grapes? The man said, kill yourself. Then he waddled away, waddle waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle waddle till the very next day. Bum 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 bum. This is their OG brain rot, it's so real. The dog walked up to a corner store and he said to the woman, run the store. Hey, bum bum bum, kill yourself. So, in a land far, far away, once upon a time in a land far, far away, there lived a wise shepherd's boy, right? This shepherd's boy was so wise that even the king of that land, knew about his wisdom. So, and the king didn't have an heir. So he sought out the shepherd's boy with intent to make him his heir. Make him his heir. Make him his heir because he wanted a wise new king. And he wanted the next king to be wise. And so, the king finds the shepherd's boy. And he says to the shepherd's boy, I have 3 questions to ask of you. If you can answer my questions 3, I will treat you as my own son and you will become the next king of the land. The king asks the first question. How many stars are there in the sky? The shepherd's boy thinks for a second, and he asks the king, Your Majesty, could you bring me a piece of paper and a brush of ink? The king orders one of his servants to do exactly that, and when the shepherd's boy has those 2 items, he starts painting dots on the paper until it's completely covered with ink. Completely black and covered with ink. Covered in ink. And then the shepherd's boy says, Your Majesty, there are as many stars in the sky as there is droplets of ink on this paper. The king was already very impressed by the answer, so he asked the second question. How many droplets of water are there in all the oceans in the world? The shepherd's boy thought for a second and answered, Your Majesty, if you can gather all the oceans in the world in one place, I will count all droplets with my single-handedly count all the droplets and tell you the answer. The king was very strong. The king was very surprised, and so I asked the final question. How many seconds of timer is there? How many seconds of time are there in eternity? The shepherd's boy felt hesitating. He says, In this country, there is a mountain of pure diamond. It takes an hour to climb it and an hour to go around it. Every 100 years, a little bird comes to sharpen its beak on the diamond mountain. And when the entire mountain is chiseled away, Exclamation MarkYT will have DLC world record. The king was very satisfied with his answers, so the shepherd's boy became the next king. The end. I think it's lonely out here. Once upon a time in ancient China, there lived a man. He was a gardener, one of the best gardener in all of China, in all of ancient China. And in ancient China, at the time, there was a king who didn't have any children. So he obviously needed an heir, so he had an idea. He called all the young men in the entirety of China to his palace, and he gave them a seed. He said, I will give you 2 months to grow this seed into the most beautiful flower. And the king sent them all home. And our hero of the story, the gardener, took very good care of the seed. He planted it. He gave it sunlight, he gave it water, he gave it the best care he could. But for some reason, the seed didn't grow. Week passed, 2 weeks passed, 4 weeks passed. The seed didn't grow at all. And when the time of 2 months came, the seed still wasn't grown. The gardener was very, very worried. But the king made an announcement that he will be calling all the young men back to his palace. So the man picked up the flower pot that he had planted the seed in with no flower and traveled over to the palace. When you arrived at the palace, every other young man had beautiful flowers in their flower pots. Beautiful, colorful, of all colors basically. The king observed all of them with a serious look on his face, but none of them seemed to interest him. But when he arrived at our gardener, the hero of the story, our gardener, his serious face became even more serious. He was like, why do you not have a flower? Our gardener was very nervous, and he stammered, Your Majesty, I tried my best. I am a gardener. I tried my best, but the seed wouldn't grow. But then suddenly, the king smiled. He said, this gardener, this man, is the new king. All of you, every single one of you are liars. Because the seed I gave you was dead. The end. Alright, what else do I know? I could tell a Korean story. Once upon a time, there lived a family of 3. It was a mother, a son, and a mother, a boy, and a little girl. The boy and girl were siblings. Obviously, they were in the family. And the boy was the older brother, but the brains of the two, I guess you could say. While the sister the sister depended on the mother and the boy. And one day, the mother had to go very far out, travel like 3 or 4 mountains, to go to another town. She said, if someone knocks on the, she tells her children, if someone knocks on the door, do not open it under any circumstances. And so she sought out, and so she started traveling those 3 or 4 mountains, and she arrived safely to their town. She got a couple of rice cakes from the town, like a basket full of rice cakes, and she started traveling, making the journey back. But then a tiger appeared in their way. The tiger said, if you give me 1 rice cake, I won't eat you. And the mother had no choice but to give the tiger a rice cake. And after taking the rice cake, the tiger ran off into the distance. Another 30 or so minutes passed, and the same tiger appeared again. He tells the mother, give me another rice cake and I won't eat you. This goes on for a couple of couple of times until the mother is almost out of rice cakes. She has two left. And then Tiger appears one more time and says, "If you give me 3 rice cakes, I won't eat you." But the mother doesn't have any rice cakes. Does not have that many rice cakes. So she says, "Oh please, Tiger, I do not have any more. I do not have that many." And so the tiger eats the remaining rice cakes and devours the mother. And the tiger dresses himself in the mother's clothes and starts walking towards the house that the mother came from. And when he arrives, he knocks on the door and says, "Open up, it's your mother." A second. The boy notices something suspicious. So he doesn't open the door and actually say anything. But the daughter, the little girl, is like, "Hey, mom's home." So she tries to open the door. And then, well, the tiger is there, so the tiger starts chasing the little boy and the girl until the boy and girl arrive at the mountain. I'm gonna reset this. Arrive at the mountain, and they have basically nowhere else to run. But the boy prays. But the boy looks up in the sky and prays, "Oh God, if you wish to abandon us, please give us a rotten rope. Please bring down a rotten rope for us to climb. And if you wish for us to live, please bring down a strong rope for us to climb." God damn it. And a rope comes down from the sky, and the boy and girl climb it no problem. And the tiger does the same. Tiger arrives there and does the same. "Oh God, bring me down a rotten rope if you wish to kill me, and a strong rope if you wish for me to live." Another rope comes down. The tiger starts climbing it, and like 100 meters up in the sky, the rope suddenly snaps. It was rotten. And so the tiger falls to his death. But in the sky, the boy and girl, the boy becomes the sun and the girl becomes the moon. The boy becomes the moon. No, sorry, the girl becomes the moon. And they lighten the passageways of ancient Korea day and night. But the girl is still a little girl, so she's a little scared of the night. So she asks her brother, "Brother, can we switch places? I don't want. The night is a little too scary." And so the boy switches places for her, and so the girl became the sun, and the boy became the moon. What up, Ravens? What else do I have? Oh yes. Once upon a time, in ancient Korea, there lived a king in an underwater palace. The king was very sick, for some reason. We didn't know why. And the best doctors in all the world came to the underwater palace to diagnose the king, but they couldn't find out what was wrong with him. And then suddenly, what was it? Like a seahorse? Yeah, it was a seahorse, I think. A seahorse comes to the king and says, "Your Majesty, you need to eat a rabbit's liver in order to be cured." And so the king's like, "Where the heck am I gonna find that rabbit's liver?" And then his most loyal servant, the tortoise, comes to him and says, "Your Majesty, I will find you the rabbit's liver for you to consume." And so the tortoise sets out on a journey to above water And he ventures into the forest because the tortoise was the only underwater animal that could travel on land and underwater. He goes to the forest and he looks for a rabbit, and he does find one. And then he asks the rabbit, "Hey rabbit, we're gonna have a party in the underwater palace. You wanna come with us?" He's trying to. The tortoise is obviously trying to trick the rabbit. The rabbit catches on to this. No, it doesn't catch on to it first, and the rabbit's completely deceived. So he said, "Sure." The tortoise says, "Get on my back," and they travel to the underwater palace. And when they arrive at the underwater palace, the king sees the rabbit, and he's like, "Oh, tortoise, great job. Now, rabbit, I'm sorry, but I would need to consume your liver. Think of it as a great honor and privilege that you're being sacrificed for me." The rabbit's like, "What the frick, bro?" But then he comes up with a devious scheme. He says, "Oh, actually, I left my liver to dry in the beach and above water. Us rabbits were able to take your liver out and use it and put it in different places for a short period of time. I'll need to go get it back." The king is a bit surprised, but he allows this. So the tortoise escorts the rabbit back up to the surface. And then the rabbit's like, "Ha, you fool! What kind of animal in the world do you think would be able to take your liver out, or like dry it in the sun or whatever?" And the rabbit runs off. The end. Brother, can I please get a love kettle? Those don't know. Oh, 파리대기? 파리대기 is kind of good. Or, oh, once upon a time, there was nothing in the world, in the universe. Oh, there was nothing was everywhere, and everything was nothing. But then, a being emerged from the nothingness, and he created the universe. And he created this planet called Earth along the way. And on Earth, there existed heaven, where the king of heaven, in Korean we call him 옥황상제, the emperor of heaven, actually. Emperor of heaven lived, and he was like, down there we have down there beneath the heavens there is land, but we haven't explored it yet. Either you, my son, prince of heaven, two princes of heaven, to go and see what is down there. The two princes' names were Taebeolwang and Sobeolwang, which means king of the big stars and king of the small stars. The king of the big stars was wise, calm, and collected, while the king of the small stars had a short temper, was a bit dumb, and yeah. So the two went down, and they figured out that humans lived in the land below the heavens. Below the heavens. And there was this man who had become the king of all humans, and he had done something not even the heavens had achieved. He had learned how to tame animals. And so, after seeing this, the king of small stars, collected a massive army to start an attack on the king of the humans. But the animals, they were too powerful, they were too feral, they were too wild, they were too fierce, and they tore through the heavens tore through Heaven's army. Meanwhile, the King of the Big Stars had a more strategic approach. He shot arrows from his star bow from a distance, and the king, after being attacked by a couple of arrows, he tried to wait out the King of Big Arrows, King of Big Stars cover being empty. Tried to wait it out. However, he noticed that there were no arrows to begin with. There were no arrows to begin with at all, actually. There were only a bow. And because of that, the King of the Humans loses the war. But the King of the Big Stars is like, we have a lot to learn from this man. We must spare him. But the King of the Small Stars is like, no. He like tortured my soldiers. Like, he killed all my soldiers. I'm gonna kill him. And they argue for a bit, but they end up sparing him for now. And they go back up to the heavens, where the Emperor of Heaven is like, oh, perfect timing. You have come back. I'm going to give you two seeds, and whoever can grow a flower out of this will rule over the land of the living, and whoever it fails or is later will rule over the land of the dead. Rule over the land of the dead, yeah. And the King of the Big Stars is very the King of the Big Stars tries his best to make a flower, and just as a sprout is starting to like sprout out, the King of the Small Stars fears that he will have to rule over the land of the dead. So he sends a bug to eat the sprout of the King of the Big Stars, so it can grow. And meanwhile, he goes to the Heaven's Gardener, and he asks, "Is there anything that can make a flower grow really easily?" And the Heavenly Gardener hands him some fertilizer, but warns that the fertilizer will reflect the user's mind and like heart. The King of Small Stars isn't too worried, so he uses on this sprout, and out comes a monster flower. A really grotesque, disgusting flower. It's still a flower, but like, it's monstrous. It's hard to look at. While the King of Big Stars doesn't have a flower. And so the Emperor, as promised, gives the land of the King of the Small Stars, let the King of the Small Stars rule over the land of the living, and King of the Big Stars rules over the land of the dead. And in the process, because the King of the Small Stars now rules over land of the living, he gets to kill the King of Humans. King of Humans. And back then, there were also like 2 suns and 2 moons. So in the morning, it was really, really hot. And the nights, the tides were so high that it caused the humans, it basically made the humans a very bad quality of life. And so the King of Small Stars was like, if I destroy one of the suns and one of the moons, maybe the humans will like me more. So he grabs the largest, most powerful bow in the world and a couple of the world's largest and most powerful arrows. They weigh a ton. The bow weighs 100 tons, and the arrows weigh 100 tons each as well. Shoots the arrow into the sun, and during the morning, the sun is seemingly destroyed, and the people cheer. Kind of PB basically, and then the people cheer, but the sun comes back for some reason. It was apparent. What happened was it was just a solar eclipse, and the King of Small Stars had mistakenly actually completely missed. He just mistaken the solar eclipse as the destruction of the sun, and so he fails totally. he's out of arrows now after a couple more tries. So he has no choice but to call the King of Big Stars from the Land of the Dead, because because the King of the Big Stars, that has evidence from earlier, was a great archer. He doesn't even need arrows. So the King of the Big Stars comes and he's like, I would need the help of your people. And he asked the King of the Small Stars to make an announcement that on 11 p.m. exactly on that night, for everyone to make a bow and arrow shooting motion towards the sun, or towards the moon, sorry. And the people were skeptical at first, but they tried, and with their minds united, with their minds united, and with their minds, this King of Small Stars and Big Stars minds united, it creates a force powerful enough to destroy the moon, one of the moons. And so they do the same with the sun. Victory! 47. They do the same with the sun. And now the King of Small Stars is a little worried because he didn't do any of this. It was his brother that actually like helped him out. So he's like wondering what to do. Wow, what do I tell my people? And then he gets a message from his brother, the King of Big Stars. And the King of Big Stars message goes, King of Small Stars, I think it would be best if you tell your people that you were the one who came up with this plan. The King of Small Stars is a little bit of despair. He says, brother, why do you always make me look like the bad guy? And that's the end of, and I could tell the story of the Land of the Dead as well, but that'd be too long. Pretty bad. But yeah, legend has it that because the worst king, the king of Small Stars, took over the Land of the Living, that's why our lives are so miserable. And I can't get DLC record for some reason. And that is the reason why I can't get DLC record. The end.
A great slam and then some. And begin. A great slam and then some. You're up. Good day for a well battle. And begin. This match will get red hot. Now go. This match will get red hot. And begin. This match will get red hot. Here goes.
After runs today, I had the time to tell like 5 lengthy stories, and I still haven't gotten a run past Mortimer. Yeah, I've been telling stories for around 40 minutes straight at this point. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be right back. I'm actually gonna go like insane if I keep doing this, I think.